You know, some stories, they start with a really clear warning. This one, though, it begins with a bargain, a really strange house, and a kind of darkness that's just, well, it's just waiting to be heard. Welcome to the rehearsal of buried voices.
So, every great horror story needs the perfect setting, right? And this one kicks off with a massive red flag that's just cleverly disguised as a good deal. It's in one of those neighborhoods where a price is so low, you just decide it's better not to ask why.
All right, let's meet the unfortunate folks who decided to call this place home. We're going to step right through those unsettling doors with them for the very first time.
Now, this house isn't just old, it feels alive, but in a really unsettling way. You've got these black, damp lines on the walls, almost like someone's been tracing a path out with their fingers again and again. And of course, there's a basement. In stories like this, there's always a basement, isn't there?
So, into this house move our four main characters, and they have no idea what they're getting into. There's Abhay, the new owner, who's just desperate for a fresh start. His wife Maya, who's hoping for the same thing. Their friend Rohan, he's the skeptic, the voice of reason. And then there's Ila, Maya's sister. She's the quiet one, the observer, who seems to see and hear a lot more than she lets on.
So they settle in, and for one night, the old house is completely still. A kind of fragile peace just descends.
The second night, same thing. That quiet continues. But it's this deceptive, heavy calm, you know? It's just lulling them into this false sense of security.
And then, on the third night, the silence absolutely shatters. Something starts to stir from deep within the house. And look, this isn't the sound of old pipes or the house settling. No way. This is something else entirely. Something that feels intentional. I want you to imagine, not a scream, but something so much more chilling. It's the sound of a voice being stifled, a desperate attempt to speak, but it's being held back. It's the unmistakable sound of someone being silenced.
And this is the exact moment where any rational explanation just crumbles to dust. Rohan, the practical friend, he tries to dismiss it. Oh, it's just the pipes. But here's the thing. Pipes don't learn your name. The sound coming from behind a wall slowly, painstakingly calls out to Abhay.
At this point, fear and frustration just take over. Abhay can't stand anymore. He decides there's only one way to figure this out. They have to tear down the wall itself.
So they smash through the plaster and brick, and what are they expecting? A hidden room? A body? I don't know. But what they find is nothing. Just empty space, dust, and this heavy old black tape recorder, probably from the 80s. Just a piece of forgotten junk.
Or so they think, because this is no ordinary piece of junk. The second Rohan touches it, there's a click, and the tape just starts playing all on its own. And what comes out of that recorder? Well, it changes absolutely everything.
The voice from the tape is muffled, it's struggling, and it's Abhay's voice. The words are literally a message from beyond the grave, spoken in his own voice, predicting his own death.
He immediately denies it, completely horrified. That's not me. But everyone else in the room, they know the truth. It sounds exactly like him. And the room just falls silent, as if the house itself is holding its breath, listening.
As Rohan tries to rationalize it, saying it's just some sick joke, it's the quiet sister Ayla who asks the most crucial, chilling question. Her logic is just flawless. A prank describes something that's already happened. This tape, it's describing something that is going to happen.
You see, the tape had played a recording for Rohan too. It was of him yelling at a cab driver. He just laughed it off, said he didn't even take cabs. Well, he was wrong. 3 days later, he's in a cab. It crashes. And his final words are a perfect, terrifying echo of what was on that recording.
So now, this is where the true horror of the situation really starts to sink in. They realize this isn't about predicting the future. It's not a warning. Isla understands they have completely misunderstood the tape's purpose. It's something far more active and way more sinister.
With Rohan gone, and with their own recorded last words just hanging over their heads, the terror just escalates. I mean, if they're not being warned, then what in the world is happening to them? What is this thing actually doing?
Ila's conclusion is absolutely devastating. It reveals the true, unthinkable horror of their situation. She says it's a rehearsal. Think about that for a second. The voice isn't telling them what they will say. It's teaching them. It's feeding them their final lines, preparing them to perform their own deaths, word for perfect word. This isn't about fate. It's about forced participation. They're being stripped of their free will and turned into actors in their own final tragic scene.
In this moment of just pure desperation, Abhay grabs a hammer to destroy the machine. But it's too late. The voice isn't in the box anymore. It's everywhere. It's coming from all four walls, that same struggling, suffocating sound. They didn't just find a haunted object, they are trapped inside of it.
But the story doesn't end with them, because the entity in that house, it was never just rehearsing for its current cast. It was preparing for its next audience. It was preparing for you.
When the police finally show up, the house is completely empty. There's no sign of a struggle, no evidence that a wall was ever broken down. It's as if Abhay, Maya, Rohan, and Ela simply vanished. But the recorder is still there, and it has been reloaded. And on that new cassette tape, just waiting to be played, waiting to be rehearsed, is a single name. The name of the person who finds the tape next. The name of the person who's listening to this story right now. Your name.
So that leaves us with this one final, chilling thought. If you ever hear that suffocating voice coming from behind a wall, you have to remember, it's not asking for help. It's getting you ready. The only question is, for what?